The steps of creating some edits for your leading line photos. So inside your folder, as an example here, I'm just going to go to the person's folder. And when you have your leading line 10 shots, we're going to right click and open them with Photoshop. So first thing to do when you get to Photoshop is go to Window at the top, go down to Workspace, and then over to Reset Essentials so that everything is back where it should be. Next thing we want to do is we want to go over to the bottom right hand corner, click and hold on the layers panel, kind of drag that out. I think it's helpful to have it out like that for us. We're also on the right hand side here, you will notice that there is a tab that says Adjustments. Let's click and open that as well. Okay, so you're looking at your photo. As a reminder, you can do Command 0 to fit it on your screen, Command plus to zoom in, Command minus to zoom out. You can also go over to your toolbar over here, and there is a magnifying glass which you could use to zoom in and out, and the hand tool to pan and move around. You can also use your space bar on your keyboard to do that same thing. So once you feel comfortable with that, we want to make some light changes and some color changes. So image at the top, down to adjustments. The first grouping is going to work with light, and the second grouping really with color. You don't have to worry about the rest of these for this particular kind of edit. So as an example though, if you go to Image, Adjustments, and Levels, a box will pop up giving you options. Now in this box that pops up, you have auto options that you can do, but you can also move the sliders. Now every one of these options are different. In this one particular, in Levels, you see here that this is the black slider, where if I move it from left to right, the image, all of the image will get darker. This represents kind of the gray or that's in the image, and then the whites that are in the image. So you can adjust them as you would like, and then you can hit OK when you are happy with them. Only issue with this is if you look inside your layers panel, you'll notice that there is only one layer here. And so if you make the adjustment by going up to the top and going to Image and Adjustments like I just did a moment ago, you are affecting this one layer that is here. So you're basically destroying the original. So what I would have you do instead for now, and there are a bunch of different ways to kind of do this, but I'm going to undo that Levels that I just did by doing Command Z. So we're back to the original. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to go over to the right hand side of our screen where that Adjustments tab was. And there are all those same adjustments that we saw at the top of my screen, but they are listed here. So as an example, if I go to Levels, which is the same one I used before, this time that same box pops up over here for me to adjust. However, in the Layers panel, if you look, it added a layer that says Levels. And so the layer itself looks like this. You can see the levels, you can see a little link to a mask, which I'll show you how to use as well. But this now, as I make those adjustments on the right hand side here, okay, is just taking that effect, because you can see it had changed here. It's only happening to this particular layer. So if I hide this layer, you can see it shows you the before, you put it back on, and it shows you the after. So the adjustment is only taking place within that layer. That's kind of an umbrella, if you will, over whatever's underneath it. You can add as many more of those adjustments as you would like. Like I could go to Color Balance, and now it added a Color Balance layer here, and then I could adjust those colors. So if I look from far away, you can see here. So I'm going to adjust those colors. I'm on the right-hand side adjusting over here, and that's all happening within this second color balance layer here. And so you can hide and get back to the original. As soon as you start adding layers like this, it's no longer a flat image. And so if you wanted to save what you've done here, you'd go to the top of your screen, go over File, and Save. Now when you try to save it, because you added those layers, here's what's going to happen. It's going to tell you, hey, this document can't be saved as a JPEG anymore because you added all of those layers. And so if you hit OK, it's going to ask you, all right, well, where do you want to save it? So you could save it back to that same folder, and you could give it a name. You could say, hey, this is, remember, you're choosing 3 of the best ones and changing them. So you could say, you know, you put your name, right? So for example, here would be this. And then you would name what it is, like Leading Lines. And you would call this, let's say this is the first one, so you would do number 1. And then you would hit OK at the bottom, or save, I should say. Save at the bottom. All right, if you go back in your folder, you'll see it pop up right here. So this is the one that you can change and do things to. When you are happy with it, when it is done, when you are saying, hey, this looks great, you can go into your folder. You can take your label with your name on it. You can drag and drop that directly into the work that you've done. You could resize it. Move it to a corner somewhere. And then you will save as you normally do. You would just save this. But when you are ready to hand it in on Google Classroom, that is a slightly different kind of a save that I want you to do. I want you to be able to save it as a JPEG. So to do that, you're going to go to File, Save as a Copy, and you are going to make it into a JPEG format. Here at the bottom, you must select JPEG. And then you save it right back to your folder. Hit OK. So if to look back in your folder quickly, this is what it should look like. So all the orange ones were the original 10 that you took. This was the one, the Photoshop one with the layers you were working on. And then this one is the good one that you'll actually hand in on Google Classroom. So you could label that with a different color just so you know the difference. And then so like this green one, for example, would be the one that gets handed in. One of the 3. Remember, you're doing 3 best out of the 10. All right. One last little piece just to look at is, so on these layers of color balance, so I'm going to adjust the layer even more. And I'll adjust the levels a little bit more so you could see a real change. So I went back into these particular layers, these 2, and I made some more changes on the right-hand side. This little white box, though, that's next to each one, that's a mask. So you can have this color balance not affect the entire image, but only a part of the image. So to do that, what you would do is you could use a brush from your toolbar. If you use black as your color, which I already have selected here, up at the top, you can adjust the size and softness of the brush, right? And you go over to this thing, and I'm on this mask right now. You can see I'm on this white mask of color. So if I was to start brushing over here, you can see that it's hiding that color balance layer wherever I'm painting with black. And if you look closely here, you see I added black to that mask, so it's hiding that portion. So from far away, it would look like something like this. I could go in here and I can make the brush bigger a little bit, and I could start to kind of brush with black over this area. So I don't know how well you can see that there, but basically I added black to the top part of the mask so that this color balance only affects the white area. So that's why the road in this is the purplish kind of look to it, and the rest of it looks normal. If you hide it, you can see it without or with. So you can make your adjustments just affect certain parts of the layer instead, or certain parts of the image, rather than the entire image all at once. All right, so those are the steps. If you have questions about the saving portion or any other part of this, please let me know.